Hello and welcome to Good Game Well Played. My name is Hingers and today we'll be answering some of your questions, comments and complaints about... Wait, there have been complaints? Who's complaining about that? Why would... There have been people complaining about an esports show on the internet? Well, that is a shock. Anyway, today we'll be answering some of your questions, comments and complaints regarding this show, esports and my hands. First up, this question comes from Twitter user Nintendo Quest 18, who asks, for a person new to the esports scene, what's the best starting place? Also, why are esports such a big thing globally? Nintendo Quest 18? More like Nintendo Great Question 18. Nailed it. Anyway, thank you for the question. A lot of people find their way into esports through the games they already play, so a good place to start is a multiplayer game you like playing with your friends. That way, you've already got a grounding in the mechanics and gameplay of whatever you're watching, and when you start watching pro gamers, there's the added benefit that it'll make you better at the game. Go to Twitch and check out streamers playing games you're already into. Some of them will be pro players who will plug tournaments they'll be at, and you can start building an interest that way. If you're after some specific recommendations, MOBAs are huge right now, so there's basically infinite content for League of Legends and Dota 2, as well as a burgeoning scene for Heroes of the Storm. And even though the main action for these games is coming out of Korea and China, basically all the big tournaments will also have English language shoutcasters and commentary teams, so you don't have to learn Korean. If you're into shooters, the really popular first-person shooter esports titles right now are Counter-Strike Global Offensive and Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. CSGO especially has a really cool Australian scene too that we'll be looking into more in a few weeks' time. In terms of fighters, Super Smash Bros. And Street Fighter 4 have been the big competitive games for a few years now, but with Mortal Kombat X's release earlier this year, a lot of tournaments are leading with it as their premier fighting event nowadays.
Ready?
As always.
There's a huge range of games being played at a pro level, so there's kind of something for everyone. If you're into card games, you've got Hearthstone. If you're into sports games, there will always be FIFA. And if you're like me and you're desperately clinging to games that probably peaked 3 to 5 years ago, there's always competitive StarCraft 2 happening basically every day. And hopefully there'll be some renewed interest in the game after the new expansion drops. That's obviously just the tip of the iceberg, but here at Well Played, we'll try and cover different games week to week. So if I might be so bold, can I suggest that you check out our episodes and see what takes your fancy? Next up, this question comes from Doomerang, who asks, what's the schedule for GGWP? I can't seem to find that information. Well, Doomerang, let me start by saying thank you for the question, and that is a great username you have there, Doomerang. What is that? I guess it'd be like a boomerang that brings doom, but why would I want that? Like, I'll throw the doomerang, it'll fly off into the distance, I'll be like, great work, Hingers, spreading some doom over there. Look at all those villagers running away in terror. And then next thing you know, the doomerang will like start coming back towards me, bringing all its doom over here, back here. That's a terrible idea. But then, if you've done a bit of research, you'll know that not all boomerangs are returning boomerangs. There are non-returning boomerangs. So presumably, there are also non-returning doomerangs, which means I can throw my doomerang and not worry about getting all doom all over my nice little me. Sorry, what was the question? Right, yes, what is the schedule for Well Played? Well, the plan is for Well Played to be released weekly on a Wednesday afternoon. Right now, it'll stay at 1 episode per week, but we're not ruling out the possibility of doing more than one a week in the future, especially because esports is getting bigger and bigger every day and there's just so much more to cover. For now though, check out iView, YouTube and Facebook every Wednesday afternoon around 5 PM and Well Played should be there. Alright, this one comes to us from Twitter user Catastrophe Game. I'm curious as to what makes a good competitive game, and what genres you think might spawn such a scene in the future. There's a huge variety of games being played in esports right now, and they have different reasons for being good competitive games. For some, it's about the gameplay, for others, it's about the depth, and for others still, it's all about the community. But for me, basically, when I'm assessing a new game, what I'm looking for is, how similar is this game to StarCraft Brood War? Is it a perfectly balanced real-time strategy game set in space? Does it involve a good balance of mechanics and decision-making? Can I build Protoss carriers? These are the questions I use to assess a new game. And in terms of future development, well, there's a new StarCraft expansion. No, I can't just talk about StarCraft every week? Huh. The way I see it, if these trends continue, basically, we'll all just be playing MOBAs all day, every day, forever, and I will consistently be upset with my teammates because who taught you to micro? Finally, and now to this, from Stalking Nemo, who writes, hands, Hingers, hands. What's wrong with my hands? I have beautiful hands. I learned piano as a child. These hands are the hands of an artist. What's wrong with your hands? Okay, that is the show for today. If you want to submit some questions, you can hit us up on Twitter, Facebook, or via email, and we'll do one of these every now and again. Until next time, King is out. See ya! I'm so self-aware with my hands now. This is...